On this episode of Dirt Dreamers TV, we're going to be cleaning the garage. Here. Sorry we've been gone so long. We have been missing you just as much as I know you've been missing us. We recently moved to Arizona and things have just been crazy. We've been moving all of our stuff into this tiny little garage, adjusting to new jobs, and it's been hectic. But we're working harder than ever to get back to you guys. So,
without further ado, on this episode of Dirt Dreamers TV, we'll be installing an EFI kit. Maybe we should clean the garage first, though.
It's a mess. So just to give you guys a little backstory, when we got Sandy, she had a Holley 2300 series carburetor, and that was great. You know, we grew up with motorcycles, so we knew carburetors, kind of how to rebuild them. You know, they're different but similar backstory. We had to rebuild it a few times, so kind of giving us some grief over the time we've had her. And then moving down here to Arizona, you know, a different elevation change, we're going to have to rebuild it again. And an electronic fuel injection system is always something we kind of considered anyways. So we figured once we move down here, rather than spending all the money to rebuild the carburetor, maybe we'll look into finally doing that EFI system. So with that, we had a couple different options. You know, we could do a stock 22RE manifold and a standalone EFI controller. But all in all, you know, we found a manifold from a friend for a pretty decent price, but that controller can get pretty pricey. So all in all, we're going to spend more money up front, and it would take more time in the long run because we still have to manually do everything, tune it. So what we ended up going with was the Holley kit, basically just because it's a bolt-on kit that directly replaces the carb, and it'll do everything for us. So we can go race anywhere, and we're not going to have to worry about the carburetor not working on us. So all in all, just time and money saving, so that's ultimately why we made it. But we already actually have the carburetor off, so we're going to start putting that on
So we just set the new throttle body on the intake manifold. One of the first things I noticed, we're not going to have enough clearance between the fuel injector and the shock reservoir hose. The fitting just needs to be rotated downwards a little bit, and then that connector should be able to plug right in, and from what I can tell right now, it should clear. So we're changing out the low pressure fuel pump because it was for a carbureted engine. It would only put out like 7 psi. The EFI requires a lot more pressure. I think the spec on that is like 65 psi, so it requires a new fuel pump. So we got that mounted. Just got to finish putting on the fuel filter and run another fuel line, and that portion of it will be finished.
So we had to drop our skid plate in order to access our exhaust pipe. We needed to do that because we have an O2 sensor that works with our EFI system. We need that because the computer reads the sensor to figure out our proper air-fuel mixture. You might be wondering why we didn't just drop the exhaust pipe. Unfortunately, it's been welded together, so we weren't able to drop it down. So honestly, finding a hole to drill to put this bad baby in was super difficult. We ended up barely making it fit. Luckily, Cole has top-notch drilling skills, and he kind of just forced it in and made it work. So luckily, we are good to go. We're gonna throw this baby with our fancy mounting setup. Don't mind the bug. Bug, can we say hi? Anyways, and then we're good to go.
Boy.
Alright guys, so we got to what we hoped was the final step. We got everything put in and we started up the truck, and she started beautifully. You know, she never started up on the first try for us before, so it was incredible. But unfortunately, as we were going through setting up our computer, we actually found that the computer wasn't reading our coolant temp sensor.
So what we're going to do now is I'm going to tap a wire into our coolant temp sensor connector. Since the computer is not putting out a 12 volt signal like tech support says it's supposed to, rather than waiting for them to send me a new one, I'm going to tap power into it so that we can try to get this thing running. It needs to read the coolant temp sensor in order to do a learn process. It's an auto tuning setup on this Holley carb EFI system. So I want to get that going because I'm very impatient. So after checking over over a few things. We actually found that the coolant temp sensor circuit is shorted internally in the computer system. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. Ollie's just going to have to send us a replacement one through warranty.
But we absolutely appreciate you guys coming back. I know it's been a while, so it was probably a little rough. But next episode, we're definitely going to be finishing the old girl up and taking her out for a test drive. We have confidence we're going to get it done. We hope you have confidence in us too. So, until next episode, dream dirty.
Later.